asking people, do you ever name guitars? Or mandolins? Or fiddles?
Yeah, I've been known to.
Yeah.
My favorite fiddle right now is my Ricer fiddle. That's the Wild Booger.
Wild Booger. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new and improved, we're going to call this the Cracker Barrel of Tone, our new studio here.
It's delicious.
It is delicious. We have a lot of our favorite brands represented over here. And today, we have my dear friend and dear friend of the shop, the great Professor Jesse Wells of Tyler Childers fame. He's a multi-instrumentalist who has been in Tyler's band for how long now?
Oh boy, I've been a part of the Food Stamps for almost a decade now.
That's what I was thinking.
Played with Tyler some in 2013 too, during the Red Barn era.
Right.
So
yep.
Just had the honor of getting to make music with those guys for quite a while.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a real treat to roam the roads and get to play music with those guys. And I always love coming in the shop looking for new gear, as everybody knows. I probably don't show up with the same guitar to a gig the same time. So
that's good. I tell people it's like there's not a lot of middle ground between, like, me and Jesse have the same kind of I would call it an affliction at times of liking everything.
It's a kind way of putting it.
Yeah, that's what I say.
My wife wouldn't agree.
Yeah, mine neither. But we like to cycle through things, and I always tell people, you know, if you want to stay interested in playing guitar, get a bunch of guitars and trade them around a bunch.
Yeah, and then we have the issue of loving mandolins just the same.
Ooh.
So
we do. We've owned a lot of those as well, and that never ends for me. But it's funny how, like, I got to hang out with Tim O'Brien the other night, who's played one mandolin for almost 50 years at this point. And, you know, a lot of my heroes are that way, you know.
Absolutely.
And then there are a bunch that are not. A bunch of, you know, people I grew up loving are like me and cycle through tons of different guitars.
Sure, yeah, we're in a new golden era of musical instruments and pieces of art like these fine guitars.
Yes,
we're holding. What a joyous time to be alive.
It is. We are in the golden age of tone. We got a couple Gibson guitars here. We were on those.
Yeah, I love a good Martin, like any good bluegrasser.
Sure.
It's hard to beat a fine D28, but
well, the cool thing about Gibson is, like, you pick up a Gibson guitar after playing a lot of other things, and they all have, like, Gibson DNA, I feel like. Like, even like these two are, you know, shaped drastically different, but
yeah,
they both have a Gibson thing. When you pick up a Gibson, you're like, this is a Gibson guitar. This is not anything else.
Absolutely, and there's something very appealing about the look of these two sexy guitars, but also the tone is so drastically different. It's such they end up, you know, they're also a tool. I understand that part of it, sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
But it's hard to get away from the, you know, a true fine crafted instrument.
Yeah, Gibsons are fun to look at.
Aren't they?
They are.
I get lost in the in the fine details of a hummingbird and a pretty butterfly.
And this, I always thought it was just such a wacky idea. Would this come out in like 39?
Okay.
I
didn't realize it was that early.
I think the first ones, you know, the pre-war, they had the rosewood back and sides, and Gibson makes those the pre-war J200 now. But just how crazy it would have been to draw this up and then make it. you know, in the 1930s.
Gibson had a way of doing that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, they were
beautiful.
fearless. Everything now is like, you know, focus grouped to death. I can imagine the guy coming and say, I want to put dandelions on the pick guard, and I want to also make the bridge look like a mustache. And they're like, okay, cool.
And cover it in pearl.
Yeah.
Something else. Yeah.
Oh, you're good. I was going to ask, you're getting ready to head to Europe.
Yeah. We're finishing up the On the Road tour with Tyler and the guys, and headed to Dublin. We'll start out in Ireland, which is one of my favorite places in the world. It's
absolutely,
you know, a lot of our ancestors made their way. The great journey. I know my family were immigrants from Northern Ireland, so
same.
It's always
same.
It feels right to be there.
It does, yeah.
And they love music. They love good music, and
European crowd is attentive in a different way.
Yes, yeah, and something about the Irish and the way they love Americana music and country music and bluegrass, and which of course their music is the total roots of
right
many of our styles. It's kind of funny to walk into a pub and hear Steve Earle on the jukebox.
Right.
Or a local band covering Irish Dement. I love that.
Yeah.
Of course, I love Irish traditional music too. And
I do too.
The chance to hear that in its rightful environment.
Yeah.
It's a special thing. It's one of the real treats of being able to travel. It's a tough life, as you know, being on the road.
Can be.
Being away from home and your family. But things like that, kind of being around like-minded musicians and people, it's really a treat.
Yeah, when you get into like, Irish music and connect it to Appalachian music and old-time fiddling and bluegrass and everything, it becomes like one language with different dialects a bit, you know?
Absolutely.
Like one can lead to another, and it's you can hear the thread of where it all came from. Yeah, when I was in Europe playing the one time, they seem like just very appreciative you made the trip.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a long journey. It's
like a novelty to hear an American play music. Well, I'm just trying to, the stuff I was, playing. I was like, I'm trying to get back to the root, the source material.
Yeah, well, and the different traditions of Irish music. First place I went to was Northern Ireland and near Belfast, and how much closer their fiddle traditions are and tune traditions are linked to Eastern Kentucky. It's really, as compared to Dublin or the Republic,
right?
Their traditions, tend to be more mixed meter tunes, tunes in 6/8, but up in the north, it's just kind of straight reels. That's like tunes like Soldier's Joy. And just really common tunes that we still play here and that came with our people to the hills of Eastern Kentucky.
That's right.
It's,
me and Jesse both hail from Eastern Kentucky. Well, me, Southwest Virginia. Might as well be the same place.
Absolutely. Well, that's where my people came first.
Right, right.
Slowly made their way up, and it's part of our history is that connection to music and another food and especially the whiskey traditions.
That's right.
Here in good old Kentucky, that's one of my favorite connections.
Yep. Yeah. We also like electric guitars too. Did you know that? Yeah, me and Jesse, we are, not totally unique, but, I mean, a lot of people that like, they're like, well, I like Strats. Or like, I'm a Les Paul guy. I'm a Martin guy. We're everything, guys. And I was going to show you.
Throw a wide net when it comes to...
A view, very wide net. This is a Willcutt exclusive. We do these true 62 Strats. The original idea, these were based off of a 1962 Stratocaster that Bob owned, and the custom shop took it and pretty much replicated everything about it. And it had a couple little interesting things about it in the block back here. But they have become like our Strat here at the shop. And now we do them, and I have not every color, but a bunch of colors and a bunch of neck shapes. This one's straight off the truck. Classic Sunburst.
I love the series, the Telecasters you all did.
Yeah.
Based on Bob's.
The Gloria, yeah.
Gloria, that Tele, and it's really fun to see these come into the shop.
Yeah. What electric guitars are we on right now, Jesse?
I've been playing that old Tele mostly, but
It's a 60.
It's 68.
68?
Maple cap Tele. But I've got quite a few Chad Underwood guitars.
Yeah, Chad, another
I've got a
friend of the shop. Yep.
Oh boy, there's my electric guitar problem.
Yep.
Every time Chad puts a new guitar together, he tempts me.
Well, speaking of which, we have 5.
You have some amazing
5 or 6 brand new Underwood guitars that are in the process of getting to the website. We're going to be selling Chad's guitars. We're going to be his exclusive dealer. So we have some cool stuff coming out from Chad here in the next few weeks. And we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I'm always amazed how many people know about Chad.
I am too.
When we travel and people say, "Oh, who built that guitar?" It's a great feeling guitar.
Yep.
It just has a feel.
They do. They have a thing.
It's hard to reproduce. I would imagine. He's really a true artist when it comes to the look, but the feel of the guitar too. Really love that. Well, that thing's loud too.
Yeah.
It's like Roy Gallagher would have played, right?
Almost.
Pull that Irish.
We're getting close to Rory's.
Put a few thousand more hours on it.
A few thousand would get there. Oh, I was gonna. We've been asking people. Do you ever name guitars? Or mandolins or fiddles?
Yeah, I've been known to.
Yeah.
My favorite fiddle right now is my Reister fiddle. That's Wild Booger.
Wild Booger. Yeah.
It's based on a folk art painting by Charlie Kinney from Lewis County, Kentucky. So it actually has the painting on the back of the fiddle of the Wild Booger, which was this creature that he.
A mythical creature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Have you been to Lewis County? It's,
not lately. There's probably a few wild boogers there, I'm sure.
Those fellas really had some great stories about mythical creatures in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wild booger is my favorite. I've named quite a few.
Yeah, me too.
I've tried not to name them after my wife or daughter, just to fear that I'll trade them off.
Right. It becomes an untradeable thing at that point. I know. You can't do that.
No, I try not to get too emotionally attached.
Yeah, me too. I mean, there's a few things that I keep, and then there's a revolving door of other things.
Yeah, we've so much temptation these days with these great, like this hummingbird.
That's a great hummingbird. We were saying
the Murphy Lab series of instruments that have come out the past few years are just unreal.
Yeah, they are.
But
if you want, not taking away from that, because it's great too. But the Murphy Labs, I pick it up. It'll fool you.
Yeah,
this feels like a broken in thing.
Right,
for sure. Acoustic or electric?
Yes. Yeah, I've had a few of each. It's it's fun to see them too. We've been to the London Gibson Garage a few times, and
That's cool.
They have some really unique pieces there too. If you get over that way,
I bet.
it's pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
See the market gone worldwide. It's
Yeah. Oh yeah. You want to try to play something on these? We could try.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
We play Soldier's Joy.
I can try it. We'll try it.
Yeah. Sweet Temptation.
Yeah, I know. I had one of these. I had a natural. It was my wife's guitar.
That was
not mine.
See, now that's one of the few guitars I've hung on to is my wife's Martin OM21 that came from here.
Ah,
I think it was one of the first guitars I got into here at the shop.
really?
Sure was.
Wow.
Yeah. She won't let me part with it, thankfully.
Yeah.
It's a Haas.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a good question for the specific. What was the first guitar you bought from Willcutt? Because I remember mine.
Now this is should I answer this? When I was in college, I had a good friend, Pat Duff, who was a friend of Bob's, and he brought me to the shop. And across the street, I was tempted by a Harmony arch top.
Okay.
But I had a gig in Hazard that I played every weekend, and I needed a good electric guitar. Mm-hmm. And I was convinced to buy a Parker Fly guitar. It was the first guitar I bought at Willcutt.
Wow.
I was
really
19 years old, I think. Wow.
Like the full-on Parker, not the Telly Parker.
Oh no, it was
okay.
Had the acoustic output.
Oh yeah.
I ran the acoustic pickup out to a Carvin acoustic guitar amp.
Wow. Wow.
And I ran the electric out to a deluxe reverb that I had at the time.
Wow. That is a bombshell.
Yeah. Yeah. And I came back and I bought that acoustic arch top.
Okay.
And played it in the big band at Moorhead.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I don't think anybody could hear a note that came out of that. But it was a pretty
those are great.
arch top.
Yeah. I remember mine.
How about that? What was your first guitar?
Well, my first guitar from here
the show.
was a gift. I think it was my high school graduation gift. And I remember I came up here one time with a couple buddies. Well, let me back up. When I was probably 16, I walked into the store over there and I met Eric Cummins. And we immediately kind of hit it off. And, you know, I was a young, guitar-obsessed 16-year-old. And he started turning me on to all this cool stuff. But I only knew, you know, I was already into, you know, trying to buy and sell things even then. You know, not very successfully, but... and I had a musician's friend coming into the house all the time. But I walk into the store, you know, and I'm talking to Eric, you know, and he's like, "Oh, you ever played a Paul Reed Smith?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Check this out." And he gave me this. I think it was a McCarty 2000. I think it was 2000 McCarty rosewood neck, moons, dark cherry, non-tin top. And I think I went home that night and was just telling my parents about it, you know, and they bought it for me. And it was that was the first guitar that came from here. And then after that, it was just a barrage of other guitars.
Yeah, it's been a spiral.
I ended up trading that guitar for a Strat.
I sort of regret
I know.
getting rid of that. I bet you missed that Paul Reed Smith.
I do a bit, and I've kind of looked for it because I have pictures of it, or at least one with the same specs.
Yeah.
You know, of that era, of those early McCartys that were the moons, and you know, it had the old. It was kind of Paul Reed Smith's first guitar that was kind of to mimic a, you know, like an old, like a 59 Paul kind of sound.
Yeah,
and it was very cool. But I got on Strats, and that's what happened. But that was my first custom shop Strat. Was after that, and it was like a Burst 57.
Nice.
And then he got me on Dr. Z amps. Eric did that, and I had one of those, and other stuff through the years. I said I've worked here for almost 3 years. I don't think I'm back to even yet. If you think of everything,
It'd be hard to break even. Oh man.
So what's in store for the Tyler Childers Band other than this tour? Is there any more recording that the world doesn't know about?
No, we're going to go out and support the latest record. So Snipe Hunter.
Yeah.
This year.
Speaking of,
quite a few.
Jesse just come back from L.A. where he accepted the Grammy for Tyler.
Tyler finally
for Snipe Hunter.
Finally snagged one.
Yeah, finally. In true Snipe Hunter fashion.
Right.
That's right.
Like I said, the Grammys are finally off our biting list. So he got the country song, country song of the year at the Grammys.
Well deserved.
That's what an honor. One of my favorite songwriters. Yeah, Tyler really. He knows how to connect home and in a very poetic way. That's what led me to his music originally. I don't remember how young he was when we first met, but he was writing great songs then and powerful voice. Yes. Able to convey those stories like nobody else. So
he's kind of, Tyler, I think he's pretty much invented a genre.
Feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, for sure.
Carrying on that great tradition now, you think about all the songwriters from Kentucky. I always think of Tom T. Hall and Loretta Lynn. Right in our backyards. And Tyler grew up maybe less than half an hour from where I grew up. Quite a few years apart, but those influences seem to permeate something in our neck of the woods. It's pretty awesome. And all the great young songwriters that he's influenced. I know Chris Stapleton's probably an influence on Tyler at some point, being Tyler went to high school at Paintsville, and Chris and I went to Johnson Central, so
Yeah.
just right there,
Yep.
same neighborhood, and Chris's success, and
Yeah.
really awesome to see that. See our buddy JT still on the road with Chris, and
Still there.
It's a great time for Kentucky
It
music.
is. Yeah, it is.
We go on and on. Nick Jamerson and
Yeah,
Rick
Sturgill.
Taylor and Sturgill, and boy, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, it does. It's like grunge Seattle, but for hillbilly music.
But yeah, there's a similar vibe to
Yeah.
the hollers
Yeah.
of home in there.
For sure. For sure. Well, it's funny is like, I grew up here too, and I didn't realize the uniqueness of it until I lived somewhere else.
It does it to you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good or bad. It's just like, oh, wow, this, it is truly a unique place.
I didn't go that
Eastern
far.
Kentucky.
I went to college in Louisville first.
That's
and
far enough.
It was far enough for me to totally miss my family and my
Yeah.
friends back home. And,
Yeah.
and the music that connected us.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time going to Whitesburg and
Yeah.
Apple Shop jam sessions in the winter. And
Yeah, you grew up in a musical family.
I was really very, very fortunate to be surrounded by music my whole life. My dad's family all played music, and
Yeah.
my mom, they mostly played bluegrass and
Yeah.
country and old time fiddle tunes, but my mom's family were mostly classical musicians, and
Interesting.
sort of,
Yeah.
yeah. But they love music. My mom played guitar around the house and sang.
I come from a family of muggles, they say. I'm the one musician.
The Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I do have a cousin in Ohio who was an influence on me. He still plays a lot, but now the bluegrass bug. Like, I think I was 14, 15, and my family took me because they're from Southwest Virginia to Ralph Stanley's festival
that'll do it.
at the home place on top of a mountain in what is that, Clinchco or
And near Coburn?
Coburn,
that
yeah,
area?
Coburn,
Yeah.
Virginia.
Beautiful,
And
beautiful place.
that was the first time I was exposed. I could play, what I could play, but I'd never, and I liked bluegrass, and it was always in the periphery, But that was the first time I saw like people sit up till 4 a.m. and
Yeah.
just play tunes, and everybody knew the songs.
Go pay your respects to Carter's gravestone.
Yeah,
up
yeah.
there on the hill, and it's a spiritual place. I had a moment there. I've been a couple of times to that.
Yeah.
and
It really is.
It will change your life.
But it blew my mind. All these guys are standing around. They're like, somebody call a tune, and they just all play it. And they all knew it, And that's what got me started down that path.
Oh, that's awesome. Right. Sometimes that's all it takes is.
It was, yeah. And then Poppy Mountain.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Poppy Mountain is this legendary bluegrass festival in Moorhead, Kentucky. That it attracted all kinds of things in the sphere of culture,
Yes.
and moonshine, and people probably operating four-wheelers while intoxicated, and jamming, and a lot of jamming. And it was the first place where I was like, there would be locals and hippies and college kids and
Right.
everything intermingling.
That was one of my biggest appeals of going back to Moorhead State was being close to Poppy Mountain.
I know.
September, third week of September, go out there and have a big old time.
Yep.
See some of the greatest music on the planet. And I remember sitting in the parking lot of Moorhead the first year I was there, and they had it on the radio, the local radio station broadcast live, and Alison Krauss was playing on stage, and it was, wow.
Yeah.
It was 10 minutes down the road, so the next day I packed up and went down and ended up picking all night and
Same. That's exactly what I
try to
did.
go back every chance I get.
Yeah, when I was probably 20, maybe 19, 20, 21, whatever. I think I just got my
Young,
a
impressionable
mandolin,
man. Yeah.
and I just went up there with a tent and a mandolin and a acoustic guitar and just set up and
Yeah,
probably.
I'd take that whole week and
Yeah.
live out of a tent, move out of my dorm, and go live out of a tent for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, pop him out, and then the Fraley Festival over in Carter County. Carter Caves. That's still going on, the legacy of JP and Anna Dean Fraley. Mm-hmm. Just think about all the festivals and music venues that have come and gone.
Yeah.
A lot of them still have Meadow Green, still kicking. Still a lot of great places to see live music, bluegrass and country music. And we're really still in a very, very powerful place for traditional music.
Yes. Yeah, anybody who's in other parts of the world, come to Kentucky.
Yeah.
Come to
Visit
Kentucky.
the Kentucky Center for Traditional Music over
Yes.
at Morehead State University. They have a
Come see a show at the
world-class
Burl.
program. Yeah.
Go to Meadow Green Park.
See Wood Songs right down the street.
That's right. That's right. We're going to be doing more of these. Wood Songs. How long has Wood Songs been going on?
Oh, boy.
40,
Gosh.
50 years, man? I don't know. I just made that up. But it's a
Quite
great...
a few decades now.
Yeah, I think so.
What a...
syndicated radio show that we do here, and it's right down the street. So we're going to be doing more videos here in the studio, hopefully with people who are on Wood Songs that week. And
Yeah, some of the greatest artists on the planet.
yes,
Visit Wood Songs, the Troubadour concert series.
Yes.
It's Lexington, really, just a wealth of
at the beautiful Kentucky
great.
Theater.
Yes, absolutely. One of the most beautiful theaters I've ever been in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this was fun.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you spending some time.
Yeah, this is great. We're going to continue this. So be on the lookout for some more videos. We're going to keep this little video series going. We'll have some performances from different people in the area and a little chat. And who knows what will come in the future. We may even add more stuff to the wall. Who knows?
I bet Bob's got a few things laying around.
Yeah, you start looking, there's no telling what you can find around here.
Yeah, what a treat.
So, yeah, be sure to visit willcuttguitars.com and stay in touch.